Haven't done an interview in what feels like forever.
And you haven't interviewed me in
Years.
It's been at least 4, so yeah, it's weird.
It's just
You're like, so now that I know you, like, what do you know?
Exactly. It's like, now that you're my big sister.
Mm-hmm. I interview you now. Yeah. I totally get it.
But if you think about it, I'm interviewing a part of you that I hardly see.
Yeah. Right?
I'm interviewing MsBlink. I only know Ashley Griffin. I don't know MsBlink.
I don't even know this heifer either. I'm kind scared of her. I just told somebody that yesterday. I'm like, I don't know what she does. So yeah, I'm ready.
Okay. I love that. Okay. Zen. I can't Zen. I'm like...
Sorry. That was perfection. Zen.
I'm also just delaying because I'm trying to come up with an intro.
But you can always do that part afterwards, right? You can just slice that and put that on there.
Okay. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the YouTube channel. And today, I have a very special interview for you guys. So if you guys are long subscribers of the channel, you guys know that I like to interview content creators and people within my field of future career, hopefully, and stuff like that. So today I'm actually going to be interviewing someone that I've already interviewed in the past, but as a different kind of persona because she also produces music. So please help me welcome MsBlink. So if you could please introduce yourself and what you do.
Sure. My name is Ashley Griffin. A lot of people are familiar with me under the moniker Multifaceted ACG, but I do produce instrumentals and background music under the moniker MsBlink. So hi, nice to see everybody again.
So like I said, I have interviewed Ashley before, but that was like before like MsBlink really took off, and yeah,
years before I even knew MsBlink was gonna make music. So yeah.
And for those of you who do know us pretty well, we are basically like sisters. I look up to Ashley like she's my older sister. So
it's my baby.
Yeah, and hopefully eventually I will be moving into the same apartment complex as her. So.
Just hoping. No pressure.
No pressure at all. But yeah, like, it needs to happen. But yeah, so today we're gonna be interviewing her as her producer self, MsBlink, because I've always wanted to get to know about the music producer side. I have dabbled in music producing, but they're not as good as her. So let's go ahead and get started. So the first question I have is, what made you want to be a music producer?
I honestly wanted to be a DJ when I was in high school in the early 2000s. Oh my God, the late 90s and early 2000s. I wanted to be a DJ, but I had no idea that like DJs do all this touring and these massive festivals. I didn't know. I just wanted to be able to spin music and have fun at parties and things of that sort. And as I got older, I used to be a dance education major in college, and I danced for many years, almost 22 years. And music is always a part of that. It's absolutely inseparable. And the more that I started learning about music, the more I realized, it really rocks to be able to kind of make the music. That's really cool. So I never thought I would until I started having Apple products, and GarageBand is a default on a lot of them, and that's what kind of gave me a space to tinker around. That's what did it.
So what is what do you use in order to produce and share your music? Like what platforms do you use?
I still use GarageBand. A lot of people, when you are a producer, you fall in love with one system, perhaps two. And I started with GarageBand 4 years ago on a flight to KCON, New York. I knew nothing about music production, but I know I didn't want to talk to the person I was sitting by on the airplane. So I taught myself on that flight. I'm so serious, as God is my witness. But GarageBand is just one DAW. A DAW is a digital audio workstation. So I predominantly use that, which has really encapsulated my sound, but I also use BandLab, and I'm learning two new systems now, and they're a little intimidating for me because I'm used to doing things on a different type. And distribution always was done by me at first because I made music for other YouTubers to use. I made music for people to put in their backgrounds for their videos. And late last year, late 2019, I'm like, okay, dude, you really said you wanted to be this big deal producer. You submitted music to people, but how the heck are they gonna find it? So I started doing distribution, and I do it through DistroKid.
So can you like explain the process you go through while making music?
Man, wow. The process, it's a threefold thing. Either I have a beat in my head, something that's been stuck in my head for a while, and I'm trying to verbally articulate it in music. Two, I have my beta test group, which are just my following who are kind enough to give me feedback on what they're hearing and whatnot. And they might say, we want to hear something that sounds like this. How can you create that? And then the third is it honestly just comes to me out of nowhere. And that nowhere window of time is usually between 2 and 4 a.m. It'll wake me up out of my sleep where I have to make whatever it is I'm hearing in my head. Over 4 years of producing, 2 of those years, I literally made a track a day, at least one album or one song a day for 2 years. And more recently, after so much time doing that, now I can make a whole song in a matter of 15 minutes, 20 minutes, and then go back to it. And if I want to write lyrics to it, then I can. But the process has always been threefold like that. I'll just try to challenge myself with something I hear and try to emulate that mood. Never the same style, but try to emulate that mood and go from there.
So what was the most difficult producing problem that you had to overcome?
The most difficult one, the one I'm still getting over, because I mean it's art, so an artist is never fully satisfied with what they create, and I'll make something and my desire for it to sound like what you hear on the radio, not realizing that I'm already on radio. But I'm trying so hard in my mind, in my own ears, to make it sound like the perfection that I hear on radio, that I might sit on a track for weeks or months, and that's something that I could have let go and uploaded, and other people could have enjoyed it. So it's a real big obstacle because I'm used to being my content. I'm used to being multifaceted ACG, or I'm used to being Ashley the teacher or the public speaker. When it comes to MsBlink, people fall in love with whatever music they do, interpret it their own way, and I have zero control over it. There's nothing I can verbally to say that this is what the song meant because I make instrumentals. So it's really hard to get over that. I'll nitpick a track for days, months before I release it.
I remember whenever I was over there for Houston, you were like, listen to this track, it's missing something, no. Like,
it's missing something. It's always something missing, and people are like, dude, I can't hear it, it rocks. Like, I like the drums or the synthesizer, and I'm like, you don't know any better. It's always something missing to me. It always is.
And something that people should know about Ashley is that anytime she has free time, she's making a beat. Anytime she has free time, she's making a beat. I swear, like, for the day I was over at Ashley, the moment she got done with work, boom, making beats. And I was like, oh, okay, sitting in the room next to her, like, okay.
I just jump into it if I have a moment. If I'm not comatose because I have so much crap that I'm doing at once, then I always have an app on a phone or a tablet near me or something where I can just jot it down. Even my voice notes on my phone or sometimes just me beatboxing, so I can go back and make it later. But yeah, that's my stress reliever, I guess.
What do you look for when you make a song?
Oh man, what do I look for when I make a song? I'm known for making real moody music because I like dramatic sounds and whatnot. But what I look for is consistency with a vibe. If I'm trying to create a vibe where the music is conveying excitement and energy, then I need that to consistently happen. If I'm trying to make something that makes you really sit and just think about life and chill out and whatnot, I can't start it off at a slow tempo and then all of a sudden just shift it into party mode. Yeah. So I try to keep very consistent with whatever vibe I'm trying to create.
That's like really good because a lot of people, there are a lot of producers out there that don't really do that. Like they like to change it like instantly, and like there's certain
out of nowhere.
And there's certain songs that like, you know, especially nowadays, like there's a few that I could even name, but there's certain songs that it just feels like they're doing too much, and they added like 2 to 3 songs in one song, and I'm like, can you keep it at one like genre?
And
like
it happens so much unintentionally, but the producer is making it for themselves and not for the intention of someone just enjoying it.
Yeah. What, in your experience, is the most important quality to producing music?
The most important quality to producing music, even if it's an instrumental, even if it's one that doesn't have intended lyrics, the most important thing would be structure that allows space for where a lyric would go. So you might have an introduction and you have this one section and it has these little sounds that are added to build it up. Then you get to a bridge, then you get to what would be the chorus, the big portion of the song, and it needs to taper back off. You can't just send people through a song that just goes up, and then drops you and then like doesn't do anything else. So I'm a big fan of EDM. I love the build up of it and how you have this massive drop and then the song just goes buck wild. But if you're thinking about that as a roller coaster, the roller coaster is going up, it drops you tremendously. You got a couple of waves and then it just stops. I like the consistency of having parts where somebody can hear something and like, yo, that's my favorite part in this whole song. This little stupid noise right here. I love that part. So I think that's a very important thing.
Yeah, and with Ashley's music, you get that, and that's something I really love because I like songs that have that roller coaster. You know? And a lot of music nowadays don't typically have that. And it's really nice to like hear it again because that kind of gives me like a nostalgia feel from like the early 2000s because that's kind of how it was. And so it's like it's great to have that back, and like Ashley like does it so well. Like she's
Thank you.
She's like one of the only like music producers that I'm like constantly like no lyric, nothing. I listen to the song and I'm like, this song is it.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
So what's your typical day for making music? Like what's your typical day like?
I try very hard to make music when it's light outside like this, and it never happens. It's like I'm a dungeon producer, which is common for music producers and musicians anyway. We are very nocturnal. It's something about the stillness of night that allows us to just be far-fetched with it. But usually it's a matter of me, either one of two things. I'm working for something completely from scratch, or I'm going back to things that I worked on before and I'm cleaning it. I'm changing the sounds. I'm practicing mixing and mastering, which are not the same. You can produce a song and then the mix of it is how the multiple sounds in it come together. Mastering it is taking out any grainy sounds if it's too brassy or anything. So usually it involves that. It involves a lot of water. Because if I don't drink a whole bunch of water, I'll zone in on a song and look up and 6 hours have passed, and that's horrifying. Like that's intense. You gotta give yourself something to make you physically get up and remember, oh crap, like life is going on. I should probably go to the bathroom, you know? But that's usually how it boils down. I either get a spark to do something totally new, or I'm like, okay, this is rendition 76 of this song I made in 2018 and I need it to be right. And I get back into working on something old.
With Ashley, if you gave her the opportunity to just sit down 24 hours a day to make a song, she would do it. Like literally.
I would totally do it. If I could just make music, go to sleep, get up, not have homework, record my podcast, lay back down, eat something, and then go right back to music. Shh. That would be it. That would be it.
She is like one of those music freaks. Like literally loves making music, and I mean a lot of people love it too. So
yeah.
Who or what was your inspiration to start making music?
Wow, a lot of people. Jay Dilla, who is a producer from Detroit, may he rest in peace. He was phenomenal. He had no formal training. He didn't care how it sounded. It always came out cool, but he was not so structured where everything had to be perfect. He had a fluidity about his production that that I'm trying to grow into. I'll never fully get it. I love Skrillex. I'm obsessed with Skrillex.
She is.
Oh my God. Like, just Skrills is sickening to me. I don't care how people feel about EDM and whatnot. It's the fact that Skrills literally creates sounds. Like, he has monsters and robots and things in his music. He's the literal reason that the Dinobots from the Transformer movies have their sound. Like, he is the reason they have a sound. He's an amazing sound constructor. Odessa, they're a phenomenal production duo, and they use a lot of live drumline instrumentation. I played the clarinet in like elementary and middle school, and I can play piano by ear, but I was not a band kid. And just hearing those live drums and whatnot takes me so far back to watching my high school and my college compete in things and band competitions. I love Timbaland. I love Missy Elliott. I love Dox Kim, who did Lies for G-Man of BTS. Like, he's sickening. And Love Exterior are another really good duo from Korea I enjoy. And I love London Noise, and they know I love London Noise. So yeah, it's just, I listen to Bjork. Like, I listen to so much music, but those are some that first come to mind.
So what music have you been listening to a lot lately, and do you think that this possibly has an inspiration or a feel of how you're making music today?
Because when I'm not MsBlink, I'm doing a podcast called An Album a Day. I'm listening to a lot of late 90s, early 2000s, a lot of older music. And it's so weird to me to say it's older, but it legitimately was 20 years ago. Like, time flies way too fast. So I'm back to listening to NSYNC, listening to Spice Girls again, listening to Drew Hill, Britney Spears, the second album she made that was named after her. I'm really in this pop zone right now because what's going on in music, what's getting ready to happen is everybody's going to start transitioning back to live instrumentation. But there was an intermingling of the two in that music production era that I'm listening to that and hoping that I can emulate some of that impact and provide live guitar or live percussion to it to keep it from sounding so computer generated.
So then the last thing I have is, where can people stay updated with you and your music?
You can find MsBlink on all of your favorite streaming platforms. I'm on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music, Tidal, iHeartRadio, and more. You can find her at MsBlink. Also, for the one-off instances of me producing music live, you can go to Instagram.com/MsBlinkBeats, BATS.
Yay! So thank you so much, Ashley, for doing this interview as MsBlink. Do you have any last comments to make, or like possibly want to like spoil or share something that you might be having coming out soon?
I will provide your audience with the tidbit that I'm working on a project. I don't have a date yet, but I'm working on 2 projects right now, one of which is going to allow a lot of my friends who are also indie artists to remix and or provide lyrics, rap or singing on some of my older tracks to re-release one of my projects. And then the second one, I can tell you the name of it. It's called 2019-85. So we are looking at 34 years of music that has influenced and inspired me. And I'm trying to create those same vibes with what I produce. So you all are the first ones to actually, in video form, hear about 2019-85.
Yay! So thank you so much, Ashley, for doing this interview. You guys should definitely go follow her. She is on all streaming platforms for music. It is amazing. You can even find it on Instagram. Whenever you go put music, you can type in MsBlink and boom, there it is.
That shocked me. That blew my mind. The first day I did it, I'm like, oh my God, I'm in Instagram. What? That's the coolest thing to me.
But yeah, you guys should definitely go check her out. Also go check out her YouTube channel. She doesn't upload much anymore, but when she does, it's the funniest thing you'll ever see in your entire life, and it's worth every minute. And thank you so much, Ashley. It means a lot. and I'll see you all in the next video. Bye!
Bye, guys!